What's up, everyone, and welcome back. The first round is already over, and it wasn't exciting as we'd like it to be, but nothing you can do about it. It was boring, it wasn't great, but it's over, and the second round has already begun. And during that time of the first round, we all had teams that surprised us and teams that disappointed us. We're gonna get into each team that disappointed us and surprised us. We all have different ones, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask you first, Andre. Who's the team that you were like, wow, they really stepped up in the playoffs, and who was the team that let you down?
My surprising team of the first round of this year's NBA playoffs would probably be the Los Angeles Clippers. Chris Paul and Blake Griffin played at an elite level all-series against the defending champs, the San Antonio Spurs, who went into the series as favorites even though the Clippers had home court. What's crazy about it is that people see CP3 and Blake as playoff chokers, and they showed up in this series. The Clippers actually could have ended this in 5 games. San Antonio had one big win in Game 3, but other than that, their other 2 wins in this series came from Clippers' late-game lapses, not really San Antonio taking the W. And in terms of my disappointment, I would probably roll the Toronto Raptors. Yeah, they're the Atlantic Division champs. Yeah, they had a 49-win season, and it's a franchise record and everything. They went back to the playoffs after making it and starting the whole We the North thing and re-inspiring the city, but once they got there this year against Washington, they looked scared. They looked nervous. All-star Kyle Lowry disappeared. He's nowhere to be found still to this day. DeMar DeRozan was sort of inconsistent. He didn't attack the basket as much as he should have. And even Dwayne Casey, his lineups were sort of suspect at times. So I'd say they were my disappointment of the first round. What about you, David?
Well, my surprise team is on the Eastern Conference is Milwaukee Bucks. They finished just 500, 41-41. And they gave the Bulls lots of problems. Derrick Rose getting lots of turnovers. Jimmy Butler having O.J. Mayo getting Jimmy Butler's head a lot. Joakim Noah not playing much in the fourth quarter. I think Milwaukee put a lot of pressure on the Bulls. Even though they had a 3-0 start, Milwaukee still put pressure on them and went to Game 6. Of course, they got blown out, but they still got to Game 6 and made the Bulls a little rusty in terms of going to Monday. And my disappointment team is the Spurs. Andre touched on it a little bit with the Clippers, dismantling the Spurs. The Spurs, to me, only won 1 game. Game 2, the Clippers completely choked. And the Spurs looked old. They looked rusty. They didn't look like themselves. I told you in the beginning of the episodes, but from before, Kawhi Leonard needed to be consistent. Game 7, 13 points, 10 boards. 5 for 13. He really didn't show up in Game 7. And Matt Barnes, 17 points. Crawford, 16 points. Redick, 14 points. The Clippers showed up, and the Spurs didn't. So, Chris, what were your surprises and disappointments?
For me, the team that surprised me was the Houston Rockets, and the team that disappointed me were the Dallas Mavericks. Now, these 2 teams went up against each other in the first round, and that's pretty shocking to me. Everyone had this series going to a Game 6, Game 7. And Houston really surprised me in how they played so well together. Players stepped up. James Harden didn't even play to the MVP James Harden we saw all season. And that just told me that can they really make a run to the finals? Can they make a run to the Western Conference Finals? Because now they got to get past the Clippers. And the Clippers are coming off a huge Game 7 win against the San Antonio Spurs. But Chris Paul got a little banged up with that hamstring. And the whole team was really tired because that took a lot out of you.
Yeah.
So, for me, the surprising team was Houston, how they played really well together, and now they put themselves in that contender conversation. The team that disappointed me was, the other side of Texas, was Dallas, and how they spent all this money bringing in Rajon Rondo, trading for him, giving up key players to the rotations, and it didn't work out. Signing Chandler Parsons, him needing surgery. Monte Ellis didn't really step up that well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki getting older, working so much in the playoffs, chasing around Josh Smith, chasing around Terrence Jones, and having to guard Dwight Howard at times on those rotations. So for me, that was the biggest disappointment because this team looked so well on paper, but to me was a train wreck in the playoffs. The only close game was Game 3, and they only won by 2 at home. So those were my disappointments and surprises. Houston, my surprise. Dallas, my disappointment. So my bad, guys, on that last comment about Game 3. Houston actually won Game 3 by 2, and Dallas actually won Game 4 by 12. But it doesn't differ from the point I was trying to make about how what Dallas did by acquiring Rondo Parsons was a train wreck.
Yeah, they're disappointed in the playoffs, man.
Yeah. Let's get to our second round predictions and who we picked and why we kind of picked them. I'm gonna let you two explain why you picked one certain team, but right now let's get to who we actually picked and how many games. Me and David both have Atlanta in 6. You have Washington in 6. You can choose to explain that if you want later on. But me and you have the Bulls winning, but I have them in 6. You have them in 7. You have the Cavs winning in 7. We all have Golden State winning the Memphis series between them. And we have it at 7. You have it in 6.
6 games.
And we all have the Clippers winning, though me and David have it in 6. And you have it in 7. It's kind of trippy because none of us consult each other on who do you think is going to win or anything. We all text each other. We posted on our Real Court Vision on Twitter. And, yeah, we don't consult each other at all. It just
happens, man.
Yeah, it's trippy how it all works out. But
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, exactly.
But, David, who do you want to explain from your prediction?
Especially the Atlanta one against Washington. I think Atlanta's ball movement is very smooth, very crisp. And they had a scare against Brooklyn. But I think because of Brooklyn's leadership, their control, their pace, Joe Johnson, big size, Bradley Beal's a smaller size, Paul Pierce is a very good player. He's been playing very good in the playoffs, but I think that he's not going to perform as much well as he did against Toronto because DeMar Carroll's a way better defender than Terrence Ross. And I think that Mike Budenholzer is a way better coach than Randy Whitman, too. I think Randy Whitman just outcoached
Coach of the year.
Randy Whitman just outcoached the dumbest coach in the Eastern Conference, Dwayne Casey, in my opinion. So I think that it's true, but I think that Atlanta can take Washington.
That's fair to say. Andre, who do you want to pick from your the 4 teams you picked to win? Who do you want to explain why you picked them?
I think I should explain Cleveland. And everyone knows Kevin Love went out with that gruesome injury against Boston in Game 4. Yes, that's granted, but LeBron is a new animal in these playoffs, man. We know that. He can take over a game whenever he wants. And we saw it a few years ago when he was in Miami. The Bulls looked like they were contenders. The Bulls looked like they were supposed to get to the finals. Granted, they're a stronger team now, but I still think LeBron isn't going to settle for a second-round exit this year. I think him and Kyrie are balling, and I think the supporting cast for Cleveland is going to chip in Love's absence. I think that's why Cleveland will take that series in 7, and home court will be a huge advantage for the Cavs.
All right, we'll see what happens. Quick question: what's one thing Golden State has to do to win against Memphis?
Control the pace, man. It's that simple. Do not play a grinded-out style against the Grizzlies, and you will win.
What's one thing the Clippers have to do to win against the Houston Rockets?
Control James Harden. I think that's the biggest key. Dwight Howard and DeAndre Jordan's going to cancel themselves out, like you just said. But Chris Paul's a different animal. He's a different beast. I don't care about the injury, realistically. He realized that the Spurs was the kryptonite to him. You know what I mean? And then he realized that, I just beat the Spurs. Nobody's going to stop me.
Yeah, he's a real competitor. He's going to do what he does in the playoffs, and he's going to keep competing. But yeah, that's our predictions, and it's really going to be an interesting one. We haven't decided what challenge we're going to do yet for the loser, but let's swing into the challenge for the first round. Let's see who lost and who won. So our first round challenge is over, and we have a winner, we have a loser, and to be honest, it was so crazy because it actually came down to one shot. It came down to Chris Paul's shot, Game 7. Spurs versus San Antonio, and Chris Paul hits the game winner. And as those who followed, David had Clippers in 7, and me and Andre had Spurs in 7.
That's how life goes sometimes, man.
And the winner of the challenge was David with 23 points.
I told you guys.
I came in second with 19, and that means Andre was our loser with 16.
Disclaimer, guys, I would have had 20 points if Chris Paul didn't make that runner. But yeah, I lost.
It's crazy. This is our first challenge we're going to do, and it's just funny that it's you, to be honest.
Yeah.
It would have sucked.
Funny for you guys, it sucks. I'm so happy for Chris Paul. I'm so mixed emotions about this because I wanted Chris Paul to hit that shot, but at the same time, while it was in the air, I'm like, whoa, what's going to be in my milkshake?
Honestly, it's going to... Usually I go 10 bad things, 10 good things, but the way you want it is to go 60-40, 60 bad, 40 good.
He said
I don't hate on it. If he wants to do it, let him do it.
Yeah, at the time, I didn't think I was going to lose the challenge. But
it's going to go, the video is probably going to go up Thursday, guys, because there's no NBA games happening Thursday, and same with our other video. So it's going to be 2 videos on Thursday.
Doubleheader.
Yeah. So it's gonna be crazy. You're not gonna want to miss that. I'm gonna laugh my ass off. I can tell you one thing that's gonna be. It's gonna be baby food. It's gonna be in that milkshake. I think.
I like baby food.
That's very odd. That's something I didn't need to know.
Low key. Now it's high key.
Now it's high key. Now it's high key. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to come back Thursday when we bang out 2 videos for you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. Peace.
That's how you do it.
That's sus. I never even kissed a